Really, Jeremy Carver? You think this is enough? God damn you.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Supernatural Season 10, Episode 3, Soul Survivor, otherwise known as Supernatural, The Death of This Story. So Soul Survivor picks up right where Reichenbach left off. We're in the bunker. Sam uses human blood on Dean to cure him from being a demon and to turn him into a human again. Crowley learns from his minions that Cass is on his way to the bunker to help Dean become human again, but Cass's grace is still running out. Cass's stolen grace, that is. So on their way to the bunker, Hannah and Cass are ambushed by that angel bitch from Black, Adina, who, you know, the angel who was with Daniel. Yeah, they're ambushed by her because she wants revenge for Daniel being killed. Crowley shows up, he intervenes in the fight, he kills Adina, then he gives her grace to Cass. So Cass now has a new grace, and now he is not weak, he is stronger. So now that Cass has a new grace and he is newly powered up, he goes to the bunker to go and help Sam try and make Dean human again. And we find out that Dean broke out of his bonds. He's not human yet. He's getting weaker as a demon from being fed the human blood, but he is out and about. He breaks out of his chair. He and Sam are on a cat and mouse game. He's hunting Sam down in the bunker, and then Cass comes and gives him a bear hug, and then Dean's not a demon anymore. They successfully return Dean to his human state, but he still has the mark of Cain on his arm. Now, I know I said this episode is the death of Season 10, and for good reason, but I will say that this episode is better than Black. It is nowhere near the heights of Reichenbach. Reichenbach looks like a masterpiece now compared to this. And I get that this season is only 3 episodes in. The 4th one's coming next week. Looks like complete shit. But seriously though, all the potential that Season 9 set up for this season, all the potential storylines are pretty much gone. With the potential of one plotline being gone, like gone forever. I don't know. I don't know if it will be gone forever, but the way that this episode makes it looks like it is gone forever, and that is the Demon Dean storyline. Because if Jeremy Carver was actually smart and actually had balls, he would have let the Demon Dean storyline continue for half a season. But nope. Comes to a screeching halt. I'm not saying this episode is bad by any means. It's not a bad episode. The first 3 quarters of this episode is really good. I even said in the opening that this episode is better than Black. There's more action in this episode. It's not as boring as Black. Blackboard the living shit out of me. There is no way this episode is better than Reichenbach, and based on what the next few episodes after Soul Survivor are going to be like, I don't have any faith that any episode this season is ever going to be better than Reichenbach. And like I said, the first 3 quarters of this episode is really good, and one thing that they did kind of tease that they actually did follow through on, which I didn't think they were gonna, because the first 2 episodes didn't really show it, but there is one thing that they followed through on, and I thought it was the most interesting thing of the episode. And it's the fact that we find out that Sam is, messed up again. It's not the fact that he's, possessed or, he's having hallucinations of Lucifer. No, he's just twisted. There's this wicked good, the beginning of this episode is wicked good, because there's this whole, dialogue scene before Sam and Dean start hunting each other down, where Dean's, talking to him, and he's like, yeah, who cares about family? It's like, you want to save me so bad? Well, maybe you should think about who the real monster is, me or you. And he's like, I know what you've been doing, Sam. He's like, I know what you have done to try and get me back. He's like, don't you remember? And at that point, I was like, yeah, I remember. He was torturing demons. That's all he did. It goes further than that, thank God, because when I first saw this scene, when they were first showing, the flashback of what he was doing, I was like, he's just torturing demons. I don't see what the big deal is. Why does this make him evil? We saw that in Black. He was torturing the demon to get to where Dean's location was to find Dean, but then the scene progresses and you're like, holy shit, Sam is tricking humans into selling their souls with Crossroads demons. That is pretty messed up. Other than Cole, that is literally the most interesting thing that's happened this season. Hopefully Jeremy Carver follows through on that idea, but I have no faith that he will, and he probably won't. I'll get to that later. Now, the whole bunker part of the episode is really intense. I wish they really didn't show that much at Comic-Con, that little clip, because I think it would have been even cooler, more intense if we had saw it, in the way that we're seeing it now. But that was literally the coolest part of the episode. And Crowley in hell with his minions. He was sitting on the throne, and they were calling him Your Majesty. That was badass. I was watching that scene in hell and I was like, I am glad I am not here. Crowley would beat the living shit out of me right now. And the cat and mouse game in the bunker, that was cool because not only did we get to see more of the bunker, but it was a pretty cool like cat and mouse game. I thought it was going to be an actual fight, but I still think the way they did it actually worked. Of course, Sam's only got one arm because he's got one arm in a sling, so I don't know what weapon he has. Dean just grabs a hammer and starts hacking at a door trying to get to Sam. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, Sam! But it's even before that where I was like, Demon Dean is now wicked cool. Because there is literally a scene before this whole cat and mouse game where we see Sam giving Dean human blood to turn him into a human again, and he's throwing holy water on Dean. It's hurting him because he's still got a demon soul in him, and he's growling and roaring like a demon. It was awesome. I was like, that is like awesome. Even though I know Demon Dean will probably in some form be gone by the end of this episode because the title of this episode gives the whole solution to this episode away. I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, that is what I expected to see from Demon Dean in black. I mean, I saw some of it in Reichenbach. I didn't see him growl like a badass like that. I did see him beat the living shit out of Cole, but he was growling. It was awesome. And the dialogue between Sam and Dean at the beginning of this episode before they do the whole cat and mouse game is awesome. It is just pure brilliance. Probably one of the few good things Jeremy Carver has incorporated into the show since his time as showrunner. And that whole Angel storyline with Daniel and Adina actually ended up kind of going somewhere. Not really, but kinda. So I guess you could say that got resolved. Now to the things that really pissed me off, all because of Jeremy Carver. Even though that Daniel and Adina storyline is resolved, we see Cass get Adina's grace. So it's like, oh, well, so much for trying to find your grace. Why didn't you just kill an angel? When you killed Daniel, why didn't you just kill Daniel and take his grace? That would have solved everything. But nope, they're like, yeah, we're going to drag this out for another couple episodes. Let it be boring as shit, bore all the fans of the show to hell, and drag it out even more. And put it aside for the time being and probably never come back to it. Because the case of this is all of Jeremy Carver's storylines are just based on repetition. Because here's what's going to happen. He's got Adina's grace now. It's going to slowly kill him. He's going to get weaker. He's going to have to go find his grace again. Then he's going to have to try and kill another angel and get their grace to stay alive until he finds his grace. Sweetness. Rinse, wash, repeat. That's the brilliant way to go. No, not really. Like I said, you killed Daniel. Just take his grace. Then you could have taken this girl's grace to get even stronger. It would have solved everything. You would be even, like, twice as strong. So, seriously, like, I don't know what they were thinking with that, but that plot line was just so wasted. I don't get it. Like, Cass did nothing for 3 episodes, or 2 rather, up in 2.5, I should say. Up until the last 15 minutes of this episode where Crowley comes and is totally his usually badass self and kills this angel. And then he gives Adina's grace to Cass. I'm like, oh, well, not so badass now because that's just a huge cop-out. Which brings me to my next point, and it hates me to say this because this plotline had so much potential and it didn't end up doing anything. They ended up ruining it, and it only lasted for 3 episodes, and that is the Demon Dean plotline. Looking back at this plotline lasted for 3 episodes. Demon Dean is not something that can last only 3 episodes. I know there's this argument around Supernatural fans right now saying that Dean still has the demon in him because he's still got the Mark of Cain, but from the looks of it, this plotline is gone. It is out the door, never coming back. I don't know. I hope it comes back, because I want to see more Demon Dean because they were actually making him a good character, not like the stupid Demon Dean we saw in Black, who wasn't even a demon. What would have been the smart way to go that would have made us Supernatural fans like the season a lot more is if they did Demon Dean for half a season. Like they should have. Instead of Jeremy Carver putting him together at the end of season 9 with all that build-up leading up to it and then slapping us in the face with only 3 episodes saying, yep, well, we're gonna trick fans. That's another waste of plotline of mine that goes right out the window. Which is further proof, this plotline of Demon Dean, this is further proof that since Jeremy Carver took over as showrunner at the beginning of season 8, that he is the worst showrunner on this show that this show has ever had. I said it, he is a terrible showrunner. I know there are Carver fans out there that love Jeremy Carver and think that he is doing wonders for the show, but the truth is, he is not. The truth is, I have freedom of speech, my First Amendment rights, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. Sarah Gamble is a better showrunner than him. There are these crazy fanboys out there that love all of Jeremy Carver's seasons so far, the two weakest seasons of the show are 8 and 9. 9's better than 8, in my opinion. I think 8 is the worst so far, and I mean 10. I don't know. It could be based on 3 episodes. It looks like it's gonna be the worst season of the show. They're saying that seasons 8 and 9 are better than 6 and 7. Now, don't get me wrong. 6 has its problems. Season 7 has its problems. I haven't done a review on those, so I haven't done a review for season 4 yet either. That's still the Kripke years. I'll get to those eventually, so you'll find out why they have their problems. But in no way are they as bad as this monstrosity that has now been created by Jeremy Carver. Jeremy Carver thinks he knows this show left to right, front to center, left foot to right foot, right hand to left hand. No, he doesn't. He is completely stupid when it comes to him, and he's got Robert Singer as this right-hand man who's been here since the beginning of the show, who should be telling him how this shit is actually done, but instead he's like Carver's bitch and is bowing to his every whim and is like, that's right. That's how we write the characters in the show. Good job, Jeremy. No, that is not how you do that. And this is the guy that is married to Eugenie Ross Lemming, who wrote this episode and probably came up with the ending for this episode. It's just proof that Jeremy Carver sucks. Robert Singer now sucks. His wife, Eugenie Ross, oh my god, she annoys the living shit out of me. There was an interview with her on the season 9 DVD where she was talking. She had sunglasses on. I was like, are you serious? Take those off. You are not cool. No. Get off of the screen, please. Please get off of the screen. And now we're getting a Charlie episode probably this season because Jeremy Carver loves Charlie. And then there's those select fans who are Jeremy Carver fans that love Charlie as well. If you're smart, you'll realize Charlie is the shittiest character on the show next to Becky. I kind of want to go back to the whole Jeremy Carver wasting potential good plot lines again because that's what he does with Demon Dean. This whole plot line is like gone. And yes, like I said before, there are those fans that are like, no, Demon Dean isn't gone. He's got the marker K. No, shut up. It's gone. Just let it be. It is gone. It is never coming back. We are never going to see Demon Dean ever again. If we do, it'll be the way he was portrayed in black. And partly because of the fact that people can't stand Sam and Dean being separated for 3 episodes. That's what made this interesting, or could have potentially made this plotline interesting. It only happened for an episode and a half, and they said it was going to happen for 4. Liars. And not only did they tease us and lie to our faces, but the CW itself also lied to our faces. Promos for season 10 of Supernatural told us that this was going to be the year of the demon, but that's not what ended up happening because Jeremy Carver is I believe he is dropping acid and believing that he's having wet dreams of Dean because we only got Demon Dean for an episode and 3/4. Based on the reaction from the fans for the first 3 episodes, they're like, yeah, it doesn't blow, but it's disappointing. I'm starting to think that this season is going past the disappointing phase. It's going towards the it's gonna suck phase, and then it's gonna eventually reach the it blows phase. Proof of that, Paper Moon, a werewolf episode where werewolves can now turn into werewolves in the daylight, which we already saw in a previous episode, but thanks to Jeremy Carver, we have to witness it again. Just like how we'll have to watch shapeshifters shapeshift without peeling their skin, or demons cutting themselves and using their own blood to call Crowley when they used to use human blood. Thanks a lot, Jeremy Carver. You changed all the rules, dick. See what I mean? Sarah Gamble didn't do that, so why is she a bad showrunner and Jeremy Carver's the man? That is the $1 million question. $5 million question is I'll give Jeremy Carver some credit because he does come up with good ideas. But the $5 million question is because he comes up with good ideas, why does he suck on the execution and the follow-through of those ideas? The whole Purgatory storyline was wasted potential, all in favor of the stupid Sam's in love with this chick named Amelia and she's a fucking bitch, so yeah, we'll use that in favor. There were more flashbacks in Season 8 of Amelia and Sam than there were of Cass and Dean in Purgatory, and that pissed me off. The whole Benny storyline had potential. What would have ended up making the whole Sam and Amelia plotline interesting is if she came back at that's the worst mid-season cliffhanger ever, because it's not even a cliffhanger. It would have been a cliffhanger if she came back and she was a monster. I'll count that as wasted potential. Bartholomew is wasted potential. Malachi's wasted potential. Gadriel was wasted potential. Cash trying to get his grace back was definitely a waste of potential. And Demon Dean was way beyond waste of potential. The only interesting things about the season now is Sam tricked humans into selling their soul, but that was a long time ago, so he's not even doing that anymore. So it's remotely interesting. It was a cool flashback, but it's not interesting now because he's not doing it. And the fact that Cole is after Dean because Dean supposedly killed his father. I don't believe he did, but we'll soon find out. So that's like the only interesting plot line that's going on here. In the last 10 minutes of this episode, complete shit. This is really what killed the episode for me. The cast thing kind of killed it. I was like, yeah, I can live with that, I guess. I mean, probably won't be revisited because Jeremy Carver's stupid, but I mean, I can live with it, I guess. But this is the ultimate end where I was like, nope, this season is officially going to blow. Paper Moon and fanfiction are proof. Fanfiction for the fact that it's the 200th episode and they're making a huge joke out of it. I don't want to get into that. I'd rather save that for my episode review of fanfiction, but the last 10 minutes of this episode, like I said, complete shit. I mean, Dean no longer has the demon in him. The first words he says is like, "What's wrong, fellas?" I'm like, really? That is not Dean, okay? It's like before that, the scene the scenes that were cool before that, it's like Demon Dean's about to kill Sam, he misses, Sam ducks, and then Cass comes and gives him a bear hug. I'm like, what? Really, that's the way Demon Dean has to go. So what's the point of trying to kill demons with a knife when you can just use Cass and let him bear hug people? Not people, but demons. And then there's this redhead chick at the end who I thought was Abaddon, but I don't think it's Abaddon because they're not that smart to bring her back from the dead. And she's probably never coming back from the dead, thank God, because she was played by Elena Huffman, and Elena Huffman's a terrible actress, so thank God she's probably never coming back. But she's got these two people on the ceiling and they're dripping blood. I was like, oh God, this is probably like Azazel's sister or something. Like, we need to see that again. I'm thinking to myself, if this is Azazel's sister, they'll ruin Azazel even though Azazel is dead. For those of you that don't know who Azazel is, he is the yellow-eyed demon that they hunted earlier in the show. He is the demon that killed Sam and Dean's mother. I wouldn't expect Jeremy Carver fans to know about that. So I had to give this episode a rating. It's definitely better than Black. But it's not as good as Reichenbach. Reichenbach gave me hope that Demon Dean would actually be cool, and then this episode completely shit on my parade. It totally wasted that plot line. That plot line is gone. I don't care what people say. He's probably never coming back because they just hate it. They're just honing it in now to get viewers, okay? That's the truth here. They don't care about the fan. They also they do care about the fans, I should say. The only thing they care about is the fact that they're getting 2 million viewers a day, so they're like, yeah, well, we don't have to do a storyline. People will still watch. So in that sense, this episode isn't one of the very memorable episodes of the Jeremy Carver era. Though he does have some memorable episodes. But this episode is one that is totally disappointing and you won't remember it after watching. And if I had to go on and give this season as a whole, as like all 3 episodes, as a collective rating, I would go on and say, because of all the wasted potential, because of the stupidity of the writers, because of the stupidity of Jeremy Carver, because he thinks he's the man and he is the dumbest person on earth, and this storyline is going nowhere, and the fact that fans are really disappointed it's the truth. Fans are disappointed with the season. I will say that this season so far is complete utter bullshit. It really pains me to say that because I never thought I would ever say a Supernatural season is complete bullshit, and I don't, be honest, I mean, maybe the season isn't complete bullshit. It is definitely disappointing, but I mean, it's just so much wasted potential that Jeremy Carver is throwing out the window. And it pisses me off, so that's why season 10 so far gets the bullshit rating. I am curious to know not only what you thought of episode 3, Soul Survivor, but I am curious to know what your thoughts of season 10 are so far. If you like it, or if you don't, or if you're like me and you don't like it. Well, I don't totally hate it, but I don't totally like it. It's just disappointing. Whatever your thoughts may be, please leave me some feedback in the comments section below, and as always, for more reviews on movies, music, video games, and TV shows, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.